listen to the show and peep what these dudes bring. If you didn't know, it's an orange and blue thing. Hope to win the championship and a few rings.
We're talking baseball.
It's an orange and blue thing. Walk off if the game's tied like shoestrings. It's a Mets podcast, orange and blue thing. Beat the other team with defense and a few swings. LFGM, it's an orange and blue thing.
What's up, Mets fans? Yeah, you know, we just joked about how, like, wow, Julia's early, everything's on time. I got everything going here with the buttons. I was just doing some last minute math because I decided yesterday to see if I could sell a kidney after seeing the prices for the 7 lines.
You were going to buy a train to sit in your warehouse.
No, the train. I saw that in our group chat yesterday, and I didn't reply because you know damn well the train was going to end up making the 7-line money.
Yes, but down the road, not right away.
You
would have been fine for right now.
Sometimes you have to sit on things in order to make it in the future. Anyway,
that's fine.
We will get to that in a little bit. If you're tuning in on Facebook for the first time in maybe all season, I forgot to tell the people on Facebook what time the show was this week. So if you happen to just be like getting an alert that we're live and you didn't have prior notice because of Twitter, then I'm sorry. But we are live. This is Orange and Blue Thing, Season 6, Episode 18. The Mets are now 71-39. The little Mr. Met chalkboard here is correct this week.
Thank God. You jinxed us last week with that.
Not really.
They lost.
Yeah, they did lose. So they are 7 up on the Braves. Last week when we chat with our friends here at home, the Mets were 3.5 up, so they doubled that in the week, and they are still 4 behind the Dodgers. The only reason there we go.
Oh wow,
it's early this week.
11:02.
Early this week with the little sound that goes off every single week. What's up to everyone in Facebook saying hello in the chat? We appreciate you checking in each week. It's one of my favorite parts of the show is that we have live fact checkers / producers in our ears, on our screens, letting us know when we fuck up, which happens more often than not. Damn, my throat's. I gotta take a sip.
Okay, take a sip.
I don't know. Something's going on here.
Have some water.
Oh my God, I'm dying. I can't. Don't let me die before November 9th.
What is that? Is that when the World Series ends? Is that when?
That's the parade.
Okay, got it.
Oh my God. No call. Who the fuck calls me during these times? All right. Anyway, I'm all over the board here. Clearly, we're very excited.
I'm giddy.
It feels like 2015 all over again.
Yeah.
Last week we had Anthony DeComo on, which was great to have. My phone is going nuts. My phone. I bought this watch.
Is that like it's linked to your phone?
It's so annoying. The reason I don't have an Apple Watch is because I don't want the alerts on my watch.
Right.
I don't want to get texts and emails and phone calls, all this shit on my watch. That's why I don't have an Apple Watch. I'm like, all right, my last Garmin broke. I'll buy a new one. When I set up this new Garmin, it tells me everything. My ring will go off. I get a new follower on Twitter. This shit goes off. It goes off all day. And I went into the settings and I can't turn it off.
Not to we're just going up. Why do you have a watch if not for the technological aspect of it? Okay.
Yeah, it keeps track of my laps.
I was going to say we have
anyway,
phones
Mets
now.
show, right? So anyway, last week we had to come on. It was great to have him on. We had discussed the trade deadline. Now we're kind of going backwards too far because who gives a fuck at this point? Because Vogelback is killing it. Naquin last night, triple. We were all very shocked. And I think you had wrote a tweet like, don't talk to me until the deadline because you were like losing your shit that they weren't going to do anything. Yeah. And they didn't do anything.
Right. Which I think at the time was fair.
Right.
And again, it's one of those things that I don't think you'll really fully know if it was a mistake or not until you see the season through and see where the holes are. But you can't say anything for right now because everybody else has stepped up and picked it up, and there's nothing to complain about in this moment.
Exactly. Like we were also saying, it's pretty tough because the Mets, yes, at the time of the deadline, they were still up in the NL East, which they still are now, obviously. But all the teams around us were getting better. I'm like, oh shit, like, are we that confident in what we have that it's like a term in like car racing. It's like run what you brung. Like this is our team. Like we have it. This is what we're confident with. They did make smaller moves in the big picture. Maybe they're bigger moves with Vogelbach and Vogelbaum doing his thing. But the Mets made smaller moves, which on paper didn't look like a big splash. While teams like the Padres or the Braves did a couple pickups, got better, and we kind of stayed the same. So we'll see. Trevor May is back. We talked about this all year. Getting players back like May and DeGrom. The old regime used to tell us like, oh, it's almost like a big move, big trade at the deadline. But it actually is now.
When when our good friend Tony explained it, it did make a lot of sense in that I get it. Like if you're going, especially if you're talking about starting pitching, there's nobody that you're going to get that is going to be as good of an improvement as DeGrom would be if DeGrom can stay healthy.
Right.
The other side of that coin is, well, can he stay healthy? And what happens if he doesn't? And then you've done nothing and whatever. But I feel like DeGrom is very much the exception to that rule. I still would have liked them to get more bullpen help, as happy as I am to have Trevor May back. But it just, and again, they're doing fine, so it doesn't matter. But it kind of stung a little bit when Givens, who was the bullpen help that we got his first start out, was not great. But whatever, we'll have to see. That's the only thing that makes me really nervous. I feel like the offense has proven itself enough that, like, you know, as Keith likes to say, it ebbs and flows, but it always finds its way back. It's the pitching lasting through October that I am a little nervous about. But for right now, whatever.
Speaking of Keith, he's had a few classic one-liners over the past couple of days. Last night, I tweeted out, but I can't remember exactly word for word, but he's like, you can't trust an umpire that wears glasses. that was great. And then,
it's true.
Yeah, it was great.
Their vision's compromised.
And then what was the other one he said on Saturday when DeGrom was pitching? Something about like an Olympic god. He's like, he's pitching like an Olympic god today. He's excellent. And you know,
the whole SNY broadcast has been amazing.
You know what? I tweet something out last night, and people think I'm always extra hard on Gary. I'm not. Gary's excellent at his job.
I feel like it's all in good fun.
It is in good. At this point, it is. Like, I think Gary's phenomenal in the booth. We have the best booth in baseball. Like, whatever. People want to say, like, oh, you're always just so bitter because of 7-Line Army. Whatever. At this point, I think it's just funny.
It's funny.
I don't care. Whatever he could say, it doesn't have to say it. Either way, he's great at his job.
Right.
Gary Cohn was trending last night on Twitter, and I was confused. I wasn't confused why, because I kind of had an inkling maybe why he was trending. The Vogelbaum shot to left, which was like 60 feet from the wall.
Right.
I'm on the couch, and you know, like when you're watching a baseball game, baseball games, you don't have to be locked into your TV every single pitch. You kind of watch the game while you're listening to it. Like, and
when Gary's voice elevates, then you look up.
I thought that Vogelbaum shot was like 20 rows deep, and it was like 60 feet shy of the wall. And I jumped up, I'm like, oh shit. And it was short. And I wrote something like, come on, Gary. Like, that wasn't even close to the warning track. You know, like, we all want a Vogelbaum, but come on, like, you know, whatever. I saw in the corner of Twitter trending Gary Cohn. I was like, well, why? And it was all fans pissed. Like, Gary just cummed his pants, like crazy shit. Like, Gary Cohn did this, like, and I was like, like,
I will say, and again, like,
Gary's
I feel
the best. Gary's great.
Yes. And
he's
they also,
in
lots of aspects, they really do get better with age. The more time they spend together as a booth, they get better.
Oh, it's the best.
But you are starting to see, I feel like over the last few seasons, like Gary Cohen, and I don't know if this is just like revisionist history for me, but like years ago, I feel like he never misjudged any fly ball, any home run. Like, his voice did not get excited unless there was a reason to the point where I would get annoyed because when I heard Gary wasn't excited, I'm like, it's really not a home run. Whatever. Right. But over the past few years, and I don't know if it's because maybe his vision's going a little bit, they're getting a little older, but I feel like that part of his game is getting a little more rocky.
Like, this is like Sterling-esque. Like, Sterling will. There'll be he'll call a home run.
Yeah, in his obnoxious way. Yeah.
Like, Judge will be throwing a ball back in. I'm like, oh, home run. And I'm like, wait, no, it wasn't. It was caught. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But someone replied, the only reason I'm even mentioning it, like, because obviously we're friendly with Howie. They're like, you would never get on Howie like that. I was like, well, it's different because Howie is painting the picture as I'm driving in my car listening. So you're not seeing the ball be caught 60 feet shy. So like, if Howie got excited, I would be like, oh, that was almost a home run.
Right.
You know,
it's different because you can't actually
totally
see.
Different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah.
So whatever. That's why they were trending, or he was trending. But I do want to give a special shout out to the whole SNY crew because the broadcasts lately have stepped up dramatically. And, you know, by no means do I have like a film background. I did take some film classes in college about continuity and shots and this and that, like certain things. I used to edit BMX videos and whatever, so on and so forth. So I do appreciate and like look for that type of stuff, like behind the scenes type content and material. The walkout the other day with Diaz was great.
How many views
for them to
that
not?
has?
Well, I tried to look it up just now.
As of this morning, it had over 7 million.
7 million something views, but not even that. That Sunday broadcast. I mean, I think that maybe also because it started late, people weren't like busy doing stuff. It's been so fucking hot at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. There also was that slight rain delay. The game started at 4:30 instead of 4:10. That game on SNY, I don't have it in front of me. If someone wants to tell me the numbers in the fact checker area, if they could check the that game on SNY was like the second highest viewed game in like SNY
It's also
history.
DeGrom, and DeGrom's first start back at Citi Field. From start to finish, that broadcast was a masterpiece. I did not expect them to not go to commercial when DeGrom was warming up.
Right.
But that was like, I wasn't, this sounds so cheesy, but I was like not emotionally prepared for what that did to me. The fact that they didn't go to commercial made it just like, how big of a moment it really was. It like finally resonated.
Yeah.
I started like tearing up. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Can you please just start the game? Like, but it was just so well done. All of it, which like, I feel like you don't get that in a normal, maybe like a postseason game or like it's a player's last game ever. But like for the broadcast to realize just like the big moments in the little games kind of thing, I think it's taking the whole broadcast to the next level. It's so great.
So I want to give a shout out to SNY's John DeMarcisco, which he's been very active on Twitter the past couple of days. He's the director for SNY. So what is it right here? Former film student and current film nut working in TV, physical media.
He grew up a Mets fan too.
That's even better. So he grew up a Mets fan. You can see his photo here if you're watching live, him having lunch with the whole booth. I guess they were out somewhere prior to a game and they met up with KB. But, if you follow him on Twitter, it's at John D. Marcisco. You'll see a lot of cool photos and like behind the scenes videos and stuff that goes on in SNY. But I guess it was his idea here. If you see regarding the Diaz video, I believe my exact words in the 7th inning were, nobody knows it yet, but we aren't going to commercial when Diaz comes in. And then he wrote 5+ million views later, but now it has 7.7 million views.
Wild.
Which is such kind of like I'm not downplaying it, but it seems like an easy concept to be like, all right, everyone loves Diaz. Why don't we just follow him out?
Right.
Like this is, maybe it depends on who's pulling the strings. I don't want to shit on anyone that came before John.
Right.
Certainly the broadcast and SNY has been top notch forever, but the amount of things we're seeing lately has been elevating the broadcast so much where like I was home on Sunday. I didn't get out to Citi Field. And I was like, I almost felt like a little bit like I was there.
Yeah. And I really think it has something to do with, if you just looking at John's profile picture, and I read a series of tweets today that talks about like, he's one of the youngest, I think like, I don't know what his official title is, but director or whatever it may be in all of sports. And I think the youth has something to do with it in that he's probably more active online. He's probably more in tune with what the fans are currently interested in, want to see, what's popular, and like diving into that. Where
we were talking about that with shit. How do I forget?
I wish I could help you, but I can't.
He was on the show with us. He fills in for Howie. No.
Oh, Jake.
Yes, Jake. Same thing. A little bit. No, again, we're not. What do they call it when like people say that old people like when
boomers?
No. Like ageism or something. When like
no, it's not even about that. It's just the fact that if you're present online on the internet, people of all ages are on the internet. You're more aware of what people are currently thinking in the moment, what's popular right now. And I think that factors into it. And like, that's not to say that people over the last 15+ years, I'm sure people in these positions have been following things online and keeping in touch or whatever, but there's a difference. Like you can see that there's a difference in the broadcast. And so I saw John had reposted, it was like one of his old childhood friends, like saw how much attention he was getting and posted this like whole thread of like,
something like he's not even a Mets fan or something like that?
No, he is a Mets fan.
Okay.
He was like, we were best friends in middle school and high school, and all we did, he would make me every single day watch SNY, watch the Mets on SNY. So he grew up watching SNY, and like he would study the broadcast, and he went to school and somehow
not him. I think his
job.
Friend's not a Mets fan. I think
his friend is a Braves fan.
Yeah. That's what
his friend is a Braves fan, but he reluctantly watched every broadcast anyway. Yeah. So again, I feel like we say this every time, like it's so freaking awesome that, and I don't know if it's by design or coincidence. I'm sure it's not coincidence, but all of these people that elevate to these great roles in the Mets broadcast grew up Mets fans, and it makes it so much better.
Yeah, promote from within.
Yeah, and exactly. I think that plays a role in it too. You grew up watching SNY.
The same thing that we were talking about, almost weekly now. We talk about like how Joe DeMeo, and Jacob Resnick, and Mark and James with the Mets Stop podcast. Like people are getting so smart and like, why don't we just bring in people who are already fans,
who already have a following by Mets fans.
Totally. So another thing, you know what I was thinking? I was watching the game with Kelly and the whole warm up, and I guess the production booth had said to like Gary and them, like, hey, we're not
going to commercial.
No, not only that, like we're gonna let like Simple Man play for a little bit, like just kind of don't say anything.
Right.
So the warm up pitches for DeGrom, he comes out and like it's kind of like you're watching, you
felt like you're at the game.
It was great, right? But I don't know if that's even legal. Like, I don't know if like
I don't think
play music. I mean, you could play it in the background.
Well, no, because think about it. When they do any sort of like big important pregame ceremony and there's like a video montage, like the music is allowed to play on the TV broadcast.
Because I've heard times before where like they did like the away. When they show that graphic of the cartoon, like who's going to be on in the booth. There was some music playing recently that may have been from like Curb Your Enthusiasm or something. And I think that Keith was even like, are we allowed to be playing this right now? Like, I think that music is a big deal. Like right now, if I was to let that play right now as we're live on Facebook, we would get kicked off. So like there's certain things you can't do.
But I also think like, I don't think that he came up with this idea like
I know, but as it was going on, like I could see them getting in trouble.
But that's why I think it was something that he thought of in advance and probably spoke to the powers that be, got whatever approval he needed or was told, like green lighted. Yes,
I guess. Okay. But then they did Narco, so it's like
I know. I don't know.
So one more thing before we move on from this, SNY, us just totally stroking them. But the other thing that I've been loving over the past few days is when they win and they're at home. Because I don't think they could do it on the road.
Oh, yes.
The cameraman runs out from, I guess he's stationed or waiting in the bullpen. And he runs out, meets Marte. Marte untucks his jersey and runs out to center field. They do that group shot.
Yeah.
And then he follows them all the way back. Last night he went in and shook Buck's hand and all that.
Right.
He followed Marte like the whole time. So that shot also, I guess, was the idea of John.
So fun.
So let's see if I could pull it up here. Yeah. So I wrote that last night. Can't get enough of the outfield group shot. And then he replied with a photo. I guess someone was able to snap it. So TV legend John Stendel, I hope I'm saying that right. It's Stendel or Stendel, charges out of the bullpen.
Pete.
What did I say? John? Oh, I'm sorry. John. John tweeted that TV legend Pete Stendel or Stendel, I'm sorry, charges out of the bullpen gate after the last out and does a damn fine job keeping up with Marte for the family photo all the way to Buck by the dugout. Not bad for a guy on the wrong side of 60, a legend indeed. So I definitely do recognize Pete from Citi Field, working for SNY all around the ballpark. So if you haven't seen it, this is great.
They're doing it after every win now.
It's awesome. Then they stop, pose, bang. It's awesome. And you know what? They're having fun.
I know.
You're having fun. And you know what really, thinking about Diaz, this is the same person. What happened over the past couple of years?
Yeah.
How is this happening? And I think it's a lot of confidence.
Diaz is such a perfect example of like, and not that I ever approve of, and we always like reprimand Mets fans who boo players and are shitty to people on social media. But like the other side of the coin, if you can have the thick enough skin to stick it out in New York and like make the adjustment and see it through, I feel like Edwin Diaz is a perfect example of like how rewarding it could be. Not that anyone should have to subject themselves to like, being harassed by fans or anything, but like I give so much credit to Edwin Diaz because I know you and anybody else like in 2019, 2020 or whenever he was here, we didn't have the best things to say about him. Are you
kidding? I was looking it up a couple like last week maybe. I just searched Diaz and like All-Star.
Yeah.
No, I searched Diaz and like trade deadline or something. And the amount of people that 2 years ago were like, let's get rid of him.
Right.
And I think I replied to someone like, what's he worth?
Right.
Meaning like how the same conversation we had last week about Dom Smith. Like, what's Dom worth right now?
And listen, I don't think any of those
criticisms.
No, I don't think any of those criticisms at the time were unfair. He was that bad. But I think it's just such a great example of like, listen, just put your head down, do the work, stick it out, and like watch how quickly a city will get behind you.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome. The Trumpets definitely helped.
Absolutely. And I screenshot it, but remember the person yesterday in the comments on Facebook. I just started the post with trumpets, and someone wrote, "What's this trumpet thing about?" Like, you know what the song is. You hear the song. Everyone's like, how do you not know?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Someone wrote back, "Did you?" Like, maybe they're deaf. I don't know, but like well, maybe they don't know.
I guess, but I don't know.
Anyway,
whatever.
So let us know where you're watching from in the comments. We are live all across the platforms. We appreciate you guys checking in each week. If you're listening afterwards, make sure you subscribe, review, do all that good stuff on, iTunes or whatever. We do still have a lot to get to, and we're actually talking a lot about the Mets today, which is excellent. So
crazy. Look at us go. We had a brief detour about watches, but we got right back on track.
Yeah, watches and also the train. We jumped around for a little bit in there in a second in the beginning, but we are also announcing the first who's going to throw out the first pitch for the 7-Line Army next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, the one after, the 20th on Game 1 in Philly. I reached out to the Phillies saying that Mr. Met was going to do it, and unfortunately they said that they could not accommodate that.
Boo.
So Mr. Met will not be throwing out the first pitch, even though he said he would. We will announce who's going to in just a little bit. And we also have the playoff strip details for the 7-Line Army. We talked about it a little bit on Instagram Live just before we went live here. I have all the details, and we will relay that to you guys in just a little bit. So if you are a season ticket member, which isn't really a season ticket, it's a 12-game home package. If you're a package member with the 7-Line Army, you automatically have the option to purchase a full strip every single possible playoff game at Citi Field. You don't have to purchase it. You don't lose your spot for next year if you don't purchase it. But that's the story. Any available seats after that process is over will go to the public, but the public is only for fans that have already purchased tickets to sit with us at some point this season. So like your ballpark app number and all that stuff. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. But first things first, this weekend, Mets versus Phillies at Citi Field. I don't think that Mr. X Thor will be around.
No, I think we miss him.
I think we miss him, which may have been on purpose, because just like he didn't want to pitch against us when he was an Anaheim Angel, when the Mets were out there in Anaheim, I think that he does not want any part of us this time either.
Something tells me he won't be showing his face in the bullpen pregame either and interacting with the 7-Line Army.
I don't think so. Well, a lot of times when like the starting pitchers, they don't. Well, actually, you know what? The Mets starting pitchers, remember they used to all walk out together?
And I think they do. I think most teams do that. All the starting pitchers will watch the starter warm up and then walk back together. So we should be there at some point, but I don't think he will make a visual appearance for Mets fans to see until the last possible second.
We'll see. So maybe we'll get to him next weekend when we're there. Well, I keep saying next weekend, but the following weekend when we're in Philly. So if you're going to be hanging out, it's going to be a very busy day on Saturday. Ron Darling bobblehead. It is the second part of the 3-part Gary, Keith, and Ron bobble. Also, it's not confirmed, but I did the math, and 5 games since Sunday with the off day on Thursday, extra day of rest, is DeGrom on Saturday.
Yep.
So I got a text from someone on the inside that said, make sure you people know to be prepared because it's DeGrom and Ron bobblehead. I was like, wait, is that confirmed? And it's not confirmed, but I guess it's just assumed.
It's scheduled.
It's scheduled. So even though nothing's really been out yet, I'm almost positive that Saturday is going to be.
So get there early.
Get there early.
Do not try and roll up like half an hour before game time and think you're going to have an easy time parking.
No. And just be prepared. If you are driving, know that lately it's been kind of a nightmare.
Shit show. Yeah.
And, I'm sure the Mets probably don't want me to say that, but it has been.
Yeah.
You need to schedule yourself to get there early and prepare that you're not just going to breeze out of the parking lot when you leave. And people keep saying, well, your brand's the 7 line. Why don't you take the 7 train? I'm like, well, not everyone lives off the 7 train. And also when you're tailgating, you got to bring shit.
Yeah.
You can't really bring a cooler and grills and all this shit.
Do people really say that to you? Why don't you take this up from Patchogue?
All the time. But even when I lived in Queens still, it's like, I can't take, I got to bring shit.
Right.
Tailgating means you have a tailgate.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy on the train.
Yeah, so
walking
anyway,
around with a grill.
Whatever. People like to just write shit on the internet. So get on down to the tailgate in the Marina lot. It is in the usual spot. If you don't know where that is, go to the 7 Lines website, click the little blog button, scroll down, has all the details here and a map. If you need a visual representation of where we're going to be, there's even a little like pin there. So if you're taking like a ride share or Uber or whatever, just tell them Marina East, Corona, New York, 11368. There'll be a bunch of Coneys there, first come, first serve. For anyone who's 21 and over, we will be looking for your IDs. Not that it's even really technically legal to be drinking in the parking lot, but lately over the past few years, it's kind of been a thing where It's just kind of accepted. Make sure you're not being a jerk and, drink out of a red cup.
Right.
And that's the story. So come on out for that. It should be a great time. If you happen to miss out on tickets, where can people buy tickets, Julia?
The only place to buy tickets is TickPick, which I did purchase more. I purchased amazing seats for my dad for Scherzer's start, the second game of the doubleheader, right behind home plate, 19 rows up, section 15. It was like they were like $160 each, which is a steal for that section behind home plate.
Today's the 9th, right?
Today is the 9th.
How much? Don't even look at the screen. How much do you think you can get into the game tonight for at Citi Field? The least expensive price, and there's no fees on this either, which is insane.
It's the Reds, so I'm gonna say like $15.
$6.
Shut up.
You can go to tonight. The Mets are 71-39.
Go see your first place up by 7 games, 71-39 New York Mets for $6.
How much do you think you can get in for tomorrow? Don't look at the screen.
Well, it's
also a day game,
so
but it's summer. Kids are out. School didn't start yet.
10.
$5. No fees. Back in the day when you'd use other websites to maybe purchase tickets that weren't Mets.com,
right,
and you saw a ticket price like this, like, yeah, the seat's $6, but the service charge can be $10.
Right. You're paying at least $20 on a $6 ticket. No.
So tonight you can go for $6. Tomorrow you can go for $5.
Even.
This Friday you can go for $16.
Which is wild.
This Saturday, which is
DeGrom and a bobblehead
we
day.
hope, and a bobblehead day, $26.
Get on it.
And no fees. Why you're not using TickPick, I don't even understand. So TickPick.com, scroll through. You can click on which game you want to go to. It opens up the map. You see a star rating that'll show you if it's a great deal, bad deal, whatever. And you can sort it by quantity and price. So, for instance, tonight, if you wanted to sit, let's pick like a little bit of
go to a bougier section.
A better maybe seat. So this is 329 row 7, which is has club access, and it's underneath the overhang on left field. $53 for those, which is a C deal, which means it's not that great.
And it's honest. It tells you.
Yeah, it tells you. It tells you what's the best. So anyway, go check it out. TickPick.com. Don't forget about the promo code, right?
Yes, our promo code OABT, if you are a first-time user, gets you $10 off a purchase of $99 or more, which honestly may be hard to use because their prices are so freaking cheap. I don't know how you get to $99 unless you're balling out.
Well, you buy more than one ticket.
There you go.
So if you're buying, let's say, a family of 4 and it ends up being more than $100, you're going to get your 10%
Family of 4,
Not
$5
10%
tickets is $20.
Right.
So go ahead, be bougie, get a nicer seat, and use the promo code OABT.
Absolutely. So we are jumping around a little bit because I want to go back to something that really I wish I knew how to speak Spanish. Because I don't know if you saw this. I'm going to play a couple clips here.
Okay.
That I hope don't flag the site, which I don't think it will because there's no music involved. But the Spanish broadcast of the DeGrom game on Sunday is phenomenal. I wish honestly, you don't even need to know Spanish to hear someone get like excited about what's going on.
Right.
But I love it. So hold on a second. I'm going to scroll back because I liked a tweet that was put up. Damn, I hope I can get to it fast enough so I'm not just rambling here for a second.
No, it's fine. The Spanish broadcast of any sporting event is worth listening to.
Let me pull this up. Let me share. Sorry, guys. Live show. You'll probably hear that.
La diferencia es la clave. Lanzamiento. Swing. Hoy podría ser ganador. Swing. Una bola, 2 strikes. Viene. Sí. Para Cuevas.
Love it.
Ponche, ahí goes out.
A jugar en cualquiera de las posiciones.
Swing.
La bola dio tanta vuelta, entonces cayó en los pies del...
Sí, Swing tirándole al tercero. Y la poncha para el primer out.
Este sí no la vuelta.
So I have no idea what they're saying, but I know swing.
Right.
Obviously, we know swing, and it's great. I honestly, I could watch the entire broadcast like that and just hope that I could one day understand all of it.
Right.
I mean, I'm still young enough to learn, but I think that's phenomenal. Someone in the comments here is saying, Julia, your flashlight is on. and you're killing your battery.
I'm sorry. I don't know how I feel like such a boomer. I don't know how that happens. I'm dealing with dog drama, so I'm sorry for even being on my phone. But has that happened to you? Since I turned on facial recognition,
Yeah.
like it unlocks my phone without realizing, and somehow I don't know how the flashlight gets turned on. Because I have a hard time turning it on when I'm trying to turn it on.
It's just crazy. I'm looking at the comments now. How many people realized it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sitting here like visibly on my phone and the flashlight's going off. So that's probably why. But I'm sorry. I had to send an important dog.
Listen, you're a business owner. It's totally fine. I don't know if I asked people where they're watching from, but let us know. And we will shout you out and share you here on the show. So first pitch. Should we get to that?
Yes. Drum roll.
So, well, let's build it up a little bit here. So this isn't the first time the 7-Line Army, someone from the 7-Line Army has thrown out the first pitch. It happened once at Citi Field years ago. I can't remember which game it was or what year. It may have been around 2014 or 2015. I didn't do it. Like, it's always offered. If it's ever offered to us, I don't want to be the guy who's like, I'll do it.
Right.
Like, I'll just like step up and be like the guy.
Right.
If like the Ducks or whoever was like one day was like, Darren from the 7-Line.
Yeah.
Sure. If I'm invited, I'll do it. But if it's given to the group, I'm not going to be like, I'm the man, I'll take it, you know? So I'm not doing it. But in St. Louis, we absolutely had someone throw out the first pitch. I'm almost positive it may have happened in either Arizona or Milwaukee, somewhere else.
I don't think it was Arizona because I was on that trip and I feel like I would have remembered someone from the group doing it.
Maybe not. It was a long trip.
So yeah, it was. I mean, we're also in the pool.
Yeah,
but
that
wasn't the night. Yeah.
Either way, this is not the first time. But you know, Mets Phillies has always been, you know, somewhat of a rivalry. Maybe not as much this year, but in years past for sure, especially with the proximity to New York and how many fans go down there. So I guess this is just a perk that you get if you sell a lot of tickets.
Right.
So last year we didn't get it because we took the left field scoreboard area, which I think only holds like 800.
Right.
Now we moved to behind home plate a little bit up from, it's basically like the 500 levels for us, but they call it 400, whatever there. And we have 1,500 tickets. So I guess once you sell that many tickets, you get to throw out the first pitch. So if you watched last week, I put out a tweet, which I actually had to take down. Why? Because they weren't happy that I'm not trying to get on the Phillies bad side. I think it's like all in good fun type stuff.
Right.
But I posted that PDF of like the details about the first pitch, like wearing Philly stuff is recommended, this and that.
Right.
And they were like, it came to our attention that you like tweeted out like our entire information for our first pitch. Can you take that down? I was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't think that was confidential. So that came down. But in that tweet, I did mention like, hey, maybe Mr. Met could do it. And Mr. Met replied, I'm down. And then I reached out, like I just said a little bit ago, if you missed the beginning of the show, I did reach out and say, we're going to have Mr. Met do it. And they were like, yeah, we can't really have that happen. So
lame.
In years past,
cowards,
for certain perks, I'm almost positive we've done this more than once. It happened a couple times at the Cyclones. I don't think maybe it's spring training. I don't know. Either way, we've done this a few times where we put in like the order numbers and it's like a random number generator. I figured this time I'm going to just pick somebody because not that it's not as special if, you know, no offense, like everyone that wants to cheer with us, it's excellent, but like not that certain people are more important than other people, but like I think after the hundreds and something outings that we've done, why don't pick someone that
who's been to the majority
of them, not myself included. And maybe we'll see if anyone in the comments can
any guess
who is selected. So I texted this specific person saying, hey, what time are you going to get to Philly? They said they're going to take the bus, like the round trip bus from Citi Field. But that would definitely get them there in time. So I was like, cool. How's your arm? Can you reach home plate? Like I was kind of like building it like, yeah, I could throw a ball.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. So how about you throw out the first pitch for us since Mr. Met can't do it? So without further ado, if you can even hear this little drum roll, the 7-Line Army first pitch thrower on August 20th at Citizens Bank Park for game 1 before the Mets versus Phillies in Philadelphia will be Mr. Andrew Indart. So Indart's going to throw out the first pitch. And it said actually on the paperwork that said like title.
General.
Because you know, normally like they offer this to like an organization or like a school, like, oh, the principal or whatever. So I wrote Andrew Indart and it said like pronunciation. I was like, you don't really need to know how to pronounce that. And then underneath that said title. I wrote General of the 7-Line Army. So the general will be throwing out the first pitch.
God bless. I
For
was
the
telling you
7-line
this
army.
before we came on here. And not to put pressure on Andrew, but like I would be so nervous. You know, you're gonna walk out there in Mets uniform. You're gonna get booed by everyone there. But that's so much pressure. And Andrew will be fine, but I would be very nervous.
And everyone, if you're listening afterwards, all the comments saying well deserved, awesome, congrats, I knew it. Everyone's excited for the general.
Yeah, it's
Let's
very
see if
well
anyone knew that
deserved.
Before I even said it. David Cancel was a good guess, but not David Cancel. I have a great story about David Cancel, which I'm never gonna let him live this down, and I'm never going to not remind him of this whenever it actually comes up. So,
okay,
first game, which is coming up soon, the 10-year anniversary of the 7-line army is September 27th, 2012. The 10-year anniversary is coming up of the Dickey game. I thought I had a photo here a while ago, but the R.A. Dickey 21. Oh, you know what? It's in the back near the back door. So when R.A. won his 20th game
which
of the
is wild
season,
that was 10 years ago.
Yes. And we were there, and it just happened to be our first ever outing. And then after that, we were like, all right, we have to do this every day or every year. I was giving out thunder sticks, which we don't do anymore because in the beginning they were
bring them back.
I would, but you know what it is? It's a big expense.
Yeah.
And not everyone was using them anymore. They're like, all right, we've sat here 100 times.
Right.
Do we have to do this every game? So I was noticing like a lot of unopened wrappers, and it's like, well, this is just money laying on the floor.
Yeah.
So we stopped doing it. So we're in McFadden's prior to that first ever outing, and I've known Cancel now, which is crazy, way over a decade.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, dude, here's some thunder sticks. If you could take some. And that's probably why I asked him to, because I knew him. I was like, can you hand them out to people around you? And he's like, Darren, like he's so genuine. Like, and like, he didn't want to hurt my feelings. He was like, I just want to let you know, I'll help, but I'm not into thunder sticks. I'm not going to do thunder sticks. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, you're not forced to do anything when you sit with us, you know? So he takes the thunder sticks. I guess he hands them out. The photos come out. The next day we were everywhere. Newspapers. Everyone wanted to know, like, what is this crew? How are they wearing the same shirts? Why are they all holding like 20s after Dickey won? And it is David Cancel. I actually sent him a photo where everything was black and white except him standing there with the fucking thunder sticks like this. So excited with his thunder sticks when he didn't want to use them.
He made it a point to tell you, I'm not
using these, Darren, but I'll help you, distribute them. And then he's like standing there like smacking them,
That's so funny.
I love it. So it's infectious.
Yeah.
Fun is infectious.
And
What's going on right now is fun.
You should bring them back for the postseason because I feel like people would use those in the playoffs. I don't even
know if we had them in the postseason in 15.
No, I don't think we did. I think they were gone by then.
And there's that noise again when I'm thinking.
Your thinking noise.
I don't know. We'd have to check the photos.
I don't think we had them in the playoffs. I feel like I would remember that.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we certainly could. You know what it is? There's so much planning that went into that. I used to go in early, sort of Lizzie, and we've had people help out over the years where we would put them in every cup holder, which is a lot of work.
Right.
It's 800 and something seats. So it wouldn't take that long. We would split up into the sections.
Yeah.
I think on playoff games, it's kind of really difficult to do that.
Get in that early.
And like you can't ask they're so busy in there to ask like interns to do that. I think if we did it, I'd maybe buy boxes and just throw them out.
Or could you
throw them into the stands?
Oh no, because everything's electronic now. Back in the day, you would like mail out playoff strips. You'd have your tickets in person. But I was going to say, could you mail them out with the strips? But you don't do that anymore. So
No.
Never mind.
So we will get to the strips in a second. But while we're on the topic of Philly, don't forget about the pregame party because we're going to be at Xfinity Live. We were there last year as well. This year is going to be pretty crazy because it is a doubleheader. When the game got pushed and then they changed it to a doubleheader, I was like, no way in hell are we doing the night game of a doubleheader.
Right.
When people are hanging out all day in the sun and drinking at the bars. And, I do not want the 7-line army to be responsible for.
It's not your mess.
Yeah. I was like, I'll go to the game, but I am not organizing game 2. So game 1, the Citizens Bank Park pregame doubleheader will be at Xfinity Live, which is directly across the street from the ballpark. If you haven't gotten your shirts by now and your tickets, everything should be pretty much caught up by today. Tomorrow, you should have it by Friday. If you don't, let us know. But when things go out, you'll get an email with tracking. So this is what the shirt looks like. It says love, almost like the Love Park logo, but not really because we didn't want to get sued. So it says love. It says the 7-Line Army Phillies, the 7-Line Army Philly 2022. And the information's here. So if you really need the address, you can Google it, but it's right across from the ballpark. And everyone in the event t-shirt will get $4 plus tax, Bud Lights and McUltras from 10 a.m. to 1:05. And then the drink specials will start back up between the games. So right after game 1 until 7 o'clock. So if you want a place to hang out, there is an indoor outdoors. If you want to break from the heat, get in the AC, they have the inside and the outside, but our special will be exclusively at the outdoor bar. Last year they tried to do indoors and outdoors for the special, and it became a little bit of a nightmare because the place, did you go last year?
Yeah.
The place is gigantic.
I know.
So
huge.
like the inside bar was like confused. They didn't know what was going on. The outside bar did know what was going on, but they didn't have all the correct drinks.
Right.
So like it was kind of all over the place. But so this year I talked with Justin, who's been great. It's a friend of a friend from some guy I know in Philly, Richie Ruth, who's the man. He's like, listen, why don't we just do it where outside, because that outside area is huge anyway.
Yeah.
It's not going to hold 1,500 people, but it
Right.
is big. Why don't we just do the outside spot to the left of the entrance? So
Right.
go there. You'll see everyone in the shirts and we will hang out. So we're going to get to the playoff details in just a second. But if you haven't heard by now, Coney Island Brewing Company is absolutely phenomenal. And we bring Coney's to all of our tailgates. And, you know, we try to do our best to support those who support us. So they are now a official partner of the Mets, and you can get in the running to win season tickets to next season, which is freaking.
Every single week I look at this, I'm like, this is
nuts.
nuts.
Like, how is
they're
this a
doing
thing?
this.
How is this even possible? But if you haven't got involved yet, you should, because it just takes 2 seconds. Maybe do it after the show. Text the word Coney Mets, one word, to 855-933-4223. That's how you're automatically put in the running to win 2 season tickets to the next season at Citi Field, a $100 gift card for the brewery in Coney Island, and 2 prize packs of Coney Island Mets shirts, hats, pint glasses. I'm sure they'll hook you up with a whole bunch more. And you should get involved in that. If you happen to be at Citi Field anytime soon, though, you can also get involved. There's like a little QR code while you're waiting online at their portable bar located behind section 114. They have all the limited season releases, including the Mermaid, the Beach Beer. And, you know, you should definitely get involved next time you're at Citi Field. But Julia wrote it down because we always have fun with this each week. And maybe we shouldn't, because, you know, they're official partner
We should
of the
really
Mets.
just learn.
We should probably just learn and not just be jackasses here.
Somebody last week wrote it out phonetically for us, and I wrote down the phonetic spelling.
Okay, so in Coney Island, where the Cyclones play, is the home of the Coney Island Brewing Company Brewery. So you can go there. It's open all year round, 1904 Surf Avenue in Brooklyn, home of the Cyclones. They have 12 taps of limited brewery-only exclusive beers, including a full kitchen and an indoor-outdoor space. But Julia will let you know how to say the name of the ballpark, because I have no idea.
I believe this is correct. Maimonides Stadium Field. What is it?
Who cares? Maimonides.
Maimonides Park. Did
we say it right? Anyway, that's where it is. You guys should go
Sticking to it
and hang out and check it out. But also, don't forget to go on their website. You can use the beer finder. You type in your zip code. It'll tell you where you can purchase the beers. It is an excellent tool to find where you can purchase your own Coney Island brews to get ready for a game at home, maybe a tailgate, or just kicking back by the pool before the end of summer. I can't believe it's almost Labor Day.
Thank God.
What?
When you have my job, summer's fun for you. Summer is your fun work season. Summer is my miserable work season. That's why I'm never at games, because I'm always freaking working. So I am very excited for things to slow the hell down.
Speaking of slowing down, I talk about this all the time. I think after the season is over, or maybe I should start now because I want to get ahead of it. I have to send in my tape for Survivor. I have
no idea where you were going with that, but I didn't know.
Well, because I can't, I'm pretty sure Survivor films in the winter. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm going to say it during my tape. Like, I cannot, if you pick me and you think I'm great for the show, I can't do it in the summer. I'm sorry. But if you film in January, I'll be there. So I think I'm going to start maybe today. Maybe I'm going to start today.
Okay.
Filming I have dreams about my audition tape. I swear to God, like
Follow
what
your
I'm going
dreams.
to say.
Follow your dreams, kids.
So
audition for Survivor.
Maybe you guys will watch. If I'm on, you could, talk shit on Twitter.
100%. I'll start my own podcast just to live react to Darren on Survivor. We'll stream every Tuesday in place of this.
I think I'd be good at it. So I'm gonna start and be like, I already know what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Well, how am I gonna start it? What I see it, I hear it in dreams, and I'm like, all right, let me wake up and write this down. I'm like, hey, I'm Darren. I'm 41 years old. I live in Long Island, originally from Queens. I am a husband, a father, a full-time Mets fan, and a part-time motocross racer. I feel like my job with the 7-Line Army is a perfect formula of what it's like to work in a large group of very diverse people. And I think that, obviously I'm going to chop this in. I'll have some clips from games. There's another sound. Would be like, I'm very comfortable on camera. I host a podcast. Sports Illustrated did a full-blown documentary on us. I've been on the news a bunch of times.
I got a following, is what you're saying. I'll bring
meaning
in.
like I'm not going to sit there when they put the camera on. They want me to talk shit
but
about.
That also helps that you have a following that will bring viewers in.
Julia eating the last bowl of rice, and I'm like, yo, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna, I'm gonna bring it. I'm not gonna be on like the confessional area and be like, well, Julia ate the rice. And
why is it me eating the rice? Why am I the villain in your Survivor story?
I don't know, but that's the story. So I'm going to start it, I think, soon.
Oh my God.
And we'll see what happens with that. So
do you know how many people want to kill you right now because you dangled postseason information and then went off a tangent about how you're going to audition for Survivor?
Julie, do you know this isn't your first show? You know that you put the stuff that people want to hear at the end of the show.
I know.
Come on.
I know, but you had just it's.
And listen, I'm really kind of pissed at you.
Why?
For eating that last bowl of rice.
Fucking deserved it.
By the way, how cool is it that Howie Rose says that you have some talent with putting the books?
Howie Rose saying that is Howie Rose having 2 daughters and being a very nice man and being like, this was terrible, but I can't say that to her and I can't act like I didn't see this because he knows that I did. So thank you, Howie Rose, for being a nice person. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we put it up, or I put it up like immediately after the show was over last week because I didn't have my computer set up for put it in the books. And I said it. I made you say it.
We're not doing that again.
Even though you didn't want to say it, and you're wearing your
I was wearing the freaking bucket hat, and you're like, Howie Rose, look at this.
He said you were great.
That's why I ate your damn rice.
You did it. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Eating the rice. So let's announce the Coney Island swag giveaway for this week. If you want to get involved in next week's giveaway and you're watching today's show or listening to today's show, go over to Facebook, hit the little share button. If you're watching on Twitter, hit the retweet button. Everyone will be put in the running. We randomly select one person per week, and that person wins a prize package that we ship out from Coney Island Brewing Company. So this week on Twitter, it is at V-Force Network.
Woohoo.
And on Facebook, Tony Superior, which I think is an excellent name.
Awesome name.
Tony Superior. He sounds like he could be on Survivor.
Could be like Tacomo's burner.
Tony, yeah, right?Maybe it is. Tony Superior,
Superior,
who is Anthony DeComo. So let's talk about the playoffs because I actually got an email from a couple fans yesterday morning that sit with us, and they said, ooh, look at that logo.
Wow.
They actually said, did you get the information yet about the postseason? And I said, no. And then like an hour later, I tweet about the postseason. So they probably thought I was lying, but I really did get the email yesterday. So without further ado, here is the information about the postseason.
Oh my God, anxiety.
Why? You already know what it is.
I know what it is, but I'm just anxiety that we're talking about the freaking postseason.
You know what? Number one, anyone who replies on Twitter, like, you're jumping the gun. Like, when do you expect us to get this information out?
You have to be prepared.
Do you want me to let the people know in like September 20th that they might go to the playoffs next week?
Imagine you did that and the response there would be.
No, we can't do that because the Mets need to figure it all out. So without further ado, postseason strips will become available for our group starting, I believe, this Friday, if not Monday. So here is the deal. The playoff structure has changed this year.
Yeah, I still kind of don't totally understand it.
Well, I kind of like it. What I don't like is if the Mets are not the wild card team, which I really hope they're not, it just gives them a lot of time off.
And also, to my understanding, even if you were to win your division, that doesn't necessarily guarantee you go to the NLDS. Like if you have the lower record, you still play in the wild card series.
No. You know, there is the wild card teams play each other usually for one game.
It's a series.
Now it's a 3-game series.
Right.
So the winner of the wild card will play the second place. I don't know. Either way, I'm hoping it's on the Mets.
Okay.
So here's the deal.
Okay.
A full strip consists of 14 games.
Okay.
As I'll break this down, I'm going to write a blog post after we finish the show, maybe this afternoon or tonight. So in the strip, you get 3 wild card games or none, depending on if they play the games or not.
But you have to pay for them in advance.
You have to pay for them in advance, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. 3 division series games or 2, depending on if you have home field advantage, 4 NLCS games or 3 if you don't have home field advantage, and 4 World Series games or 3 if you don't have home field advantage. Right. So you have to assume always that they're going to be in the wild card game, even though we don't want them to, or wild card series. Oh, and that's how it works.
Right.
The wild card series is only played at one location.
Yes.
So so let's say, for instance, the Mets and the Phillies are the wild card teams, right? If the Mets have the better record, all 3 games are at Citi Field.
Okay.
That's why you're buying the three
Got it.
seats, right? So the way it works is the Mets will require a 10%. Is it 10%?
I thought it was 40.
Oh, I'm sorry. A 40% upfront payment, and then the 60% would be automatically charged if and when they advance to the NLCS. So
it's the NLCS, not NLDS.
NLCS.
Okay.
So if they advance to NLCS, they have to assume, because then they have to cover the next batch of tickets that would be in your account. So 40% would be due by September 6th at 11:59 p.m. So that's a month.
Yeah,
we still have a month.
I know. It just seems so soon.
It is very soon. So here's the deal. The 7-Line members will receive the partial season ticket holder rate, which is $2,528 per strip. And before you fall off the chair, that is only if they play every single game, which they're probably not going to play every single game. It is $104 for the wild card and the division series, $136 for the LCS, and $300 for the World Series. And
also that's a great deal. The discount on that
it's like $1,000 discount.
Yeah. So
on
it
the full
sounds
strip.
crazy, but it's a great deal.
So that's the story with that. We talked about it. We did the math in our group chat about what it actually cost in 15. I think it ended up being about $1,250 because there was no wild card game.
Also, life is more expensive now. Everything is more expensive
7
now.
years ago, which is insane.
Crazy.
So that's the deal. $2,538. 40% of that is $1,010. Also, we've gotten a lot of emails. I made sure to confirm with the Mets. Let's say you have 4 seats on your account and you share it with your friend or your cousin, and they can't swing it. It's going to be a lot of work.
Right.
As Lizzie walks by.
Poor Lizzie.
But I will take care of it. Not everyone on the account needs to get the strips. Like, let's say 3 of you can afford it, 1 of you can't, whatever. You're not going to lose that seat for 2023.
Right.
But we'll have to then go to the Mets and say, account 456 needs to be adjusted to 3 seats, not 4, whatever. Drop this seat, whatever.
Yeah.
So out of our 600 plus seats, whatever is left over will then go to the public sale, which obviously wouldn't be until after September 6th.
Right.
So once we see what seats are open, who's going to opt in, who's going to opt out, whatever, then we will get a plan in place for the single game tickets. Those prices are more expensive than the member tickets. So the wild card and division series for members is $104. For non-members, it's $183. For members of the LCS, we would pay $136. Wow, it's a lot. It's a big jump. The non-members pay $236.
Damn.
That's a big jump. I wonder if that's a typo.
NLCS or NLDS? That might have been.
That is for the LCS.
Oh, okay.
LCS.
Yeah.
136. This says 236. I don't know if that's a typo, but that's a $100 jump. I don't know if that's a typo. I'll double check. And the World Series for the members is $340. For non-members, it's $354. It has to be a typo.
That has to be a typo.
Yeah, so $354 tickets for the World Series. The only way that you'll be eligible to purchase these tickets on the single game option through themets.com is if you sat with us at some point at Citi Field in 2022, whether it's the opening day, whether it's Subway Series, whether it's this Saturday coming up. So if you haven't sat with us yet, you have 2 more options to pick up tickets. We have August 31st against the Dodgers, which should hopefully be a big game because we're still trying to battle for top record in the NL.
That's so important.
Very important. So that's for sale right now on Mets.com/the7line Army. There's under 100 tickets left for that one. And then the final home game, which I believe is October 5th, final regular season home game.
Right.
So if you purchase tickets for either of those, you will be eligible to buy the playoff tickets. Is it guaranteed you'll get in? No, but you'll have like a 1 in, I don't know how many people buy tickets per game, but we have 300 something seats. Let's say it's 2,000, 3,000. You have like a 1 in 3,000 chance instead of 1 in a million chance.
Right.
So that's the story. If you want to sit with us, I will post a blog all about this coming up very soon. But postseason 2022 is coming up. Have faith. Believe in this team. We talked about it all seasons. Like, when are we going to play the good teams? Like, we've been rolling through the good teams.
Yeah.
This past 5-game series with the Braves that the Mets went 4-1.
Awesome. We didn't even really talk about how fucking awesome.
Oh, well, they got lucky, right?
Yeah.
Spencer Strider from the Braves.
A baby.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that you've been like, hot shit for the Braves all season, and you come in and DeGrom makes you look like a fool on his mound, and the Mets offense makes a fool of you, and whatever. And
nice mustache though. I like that.
The mustache is fine. I'm not gonna make fun of the mustache, but like, are you kidding? Just wear the L and move on.
Which I wrote down here because you know who did wear the L, which would have. I mean, honestly, if he, I don't want to put all on his shoulders, but he actually did it on his own.
Yeah.
Taijuan Walker. Yes. After he gave up 8 runs or whatever it was in the first 2 innings, and the Mets had their backs against the wall. They did fight back. I think it ended up being like,
which is honestly like,
score like 5 runs or something.
Yes, obviously that game was a loss in the loss column, but like I was talking about this, I think, with my family. I can only remember one game, and I think it was against the Cardinals, that they were blown out from the beginning, and it genuinely felt like, okay, this game's a wash. Every other game this season, they're never out of games, and that's so huge. Like you were down 8 runs, we're like, okay, but like, it happened in the second inning. Thank God. There's plenty of time to come back. And they almost did. So, yeah. And good for Taijuan Walker for just owning up to it, not being like,
yeah, absolutely.
They got lucky.
So I already am looking at the calendar. And again, this is not a jinx because I don't necessarily, I believe that like, this isn't me blowing smoke. Like, oh, he has to be positive, the 7-line owner, whatever. I believe the Mets are going to win the NL East.
Yes.
I want to be there when they clinch. I
Agreed.
missed it in Cincinnati. We watched it together at Shoe's house.
Yes.
But I want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's going to be Oakland when we're there, which would be sick.
Right.
I don't know if the Mets are going to have like an 8-game lead. If that's what it would take for them to win in Oakland.
Yeah.
If not, they can win in Atlanta on October 2nd.
Can I tell you?
Which would be sick.
I was going to go to that series. I had plans to go to that series and then realized I have to work that weekend. Like I forgot to put something in my schedule, but then went back and looked.
Yeah.
I was like about to book flights. My aunt lives in Georgia, like an hour from the stadium. And she had invited us to come down so we could go to that series. And I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to do that.
Area is so fun. I mean, honestly, it's not even really that close to Atlanta. I went for our outing however many years ago that was. I think it was like 17 or 18. But the Battery, that whole area that they built up around the ballpark is phenomenal. So if you can make it out, if you happen to be down there, well, why don't we play a little game here? Let's we have like a couple minutes left. What does it say later? What the fuck? When do you think the Mets, if they are going to clinch, let's just write it down now. When do you
This is September, right?
This is September. So this is the Oakland game. We're going to be there on the 24th.
Okay.
Then they come back against the Marlins. Then they play against the Braves in Atlanta.
And then Washington.
And then season. Back. Yeah. And then Washington. So is it going to come down to that last weekend? Are they going to clinch in
I think
Atlanta?
It really depends on how the Braves do. And again, I don't know because
that would
think
be so
about
sick.
it at like the All-Star break.
I'd rather be there, obviously.
I know, but like at the All-Star break-ish, they only had like a half game lead. Like they had at one point like a 10-game or something lead in the NL East.
Half a game it got down.
Yeah, and they lost it. So, and again, any 7-game lead just since 2007 makes me anxious. Like I don't want them to have a 7-game lead at any point.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's not say it yet because let's do this next week.
Yeah, I just feel like it's very possible. You don't know what could happen.
Right. Well, let's do this next week then because we'll see what goes on with them. They had an off night last night.
Yeah.
The Mets are obviously playing today and tonight. Where's today? Against the Reds, and tomorrow they have off on Thursday. They have the series against the Phillies this weekend, and then next week we've been circling this. They have 4 more games against the Braves.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it next
week.
week.
Next week. Oh my goodness.
Gigantic.
Philly, Braves,
must-see TV next, obviously every day, but next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all night games against the Braves in Atlanta, all start at 7:20 p.m. So we'll see what happens. Let's not put our predictions in yet, but wherever they do clinch, because we know it's going to happen.
I know.
Whenever they do clinch, I want to be there. So I'm going to try to figure it out.
When is the last home game of the season?
October 5th?
No, that's the last. I think they play in DC, no? Or is it at home?
Let me check. Yeah, remember this, the schedule got pushed.
Yeah, I know, but the last, that's at home. Oh, yeah. Amazing.
The last day of the season is home, October 5th.
Oh, so then, yeah.
4:10 start. It's not going to come down to
I don't want it to take that long, but I want them to. When's the last home series before that? Because it would just
September 28th.
That would really just be so much easier for me.
And then they would actually be able to like
do it at home.
They'd be able to kind of cruise because then they go to Atlanta. It's like we already beat you.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Although you still like your record matters going into the postseason.
Exactly.
So you can't take your foot off the gas.
There you go. Yeah, you're right.
Wild.
Fucking chop,
Destroy them.
Go to the throat. So that's the story. We're obviously very excited. We're talking about postseason. If you happen to miss the details and you're like an hour late getting to the show, I will put up a blog in a little bit about the playoffs. Also, if you're a season ticket member with our group, I will send out an email specifically to you with information about what you need to do to go into your ballpark app and secure these tickets. If you don't want every seat, again, you could drop seats if you don't need them, or if you want to find a friend that maybe wants to pick them up, that's totally fine. Again, we're going to be very, very strict on the reselling like we were in 15.
Yes.
If we find out that anyone in the group, in the members, buys tickets to specifically flip them for a profit on like third-party sites, you're not going to be able to renew for
even if you
2023.
use TickPick.
Yeah, we don't want it. Like, honestly, no sites.
Yeah.
We love TickPick, but no sites besides just selling to friends for face value or putting them up on our forum for face value. If we find out that you're selling them, flipping them, oh shit, we went over an hour.
Oh no!
If we find that out, then we're gonna have to not let you renew for 2023. I don't know what I'm gonna do about.
It's exactly
Instagram.
an hour. No, can we cut it off?
I don't know. All right, see you guys next week.
Bye. Put it in the box.
See ya.